Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Antoinette and I am into my hashtag spooky season tags. So we are VRing. I found a tag and I'm going to do a VR to Feeding My Soul 212. This is based on the 22 favourite majors, which I think was originally from Chanel Days. I can't quite remember that far back. I remember somebody doing the favourite majors tag, spring, summertime, and I just have too big a collection to be going through to find favourites, and I don't really hold favourites. They're my favourites at the time of using that deck. So without further ado, should we get into it? So I'm doing it via Feeding My Soul 212's edition, as in spooky version majors. My little caveat here is these aren't all my favourites. I've just pulled 22 decks and you're going to get a major from each deck. Sorry. So we're starting out with the Sweet Twilight, and I have the full, of course, because that's where we start. We start with the 0. I'm trying to avoid the light because we have very grey light this time of year, of course, in this part of the world, and I'm north facing and it's all very dark and dull, so I do have to have an overhead light on as well as the window here casting all the shadows. So I've pulled out the full from this one. I like this deck because it's really colourful. I do have a passion for low scarabeo decks. That's no secret. Sorry, I'm just like reflecting everything all over the place here, aren't I? How do I bring it up for you so you can see better? Or do I put it down? Oh, there we go. Genius. Put it down. There we are. So yeah, I do have a passion for low scarabeo decks. I like the card stock. I do like the fact that they kind of get a little bit battered and beaten, but they remain highly flexible, and they're quite resilient and tough. So here we are. This fool, why? I actually enjoy the fact that this fool is on strings like a puppet. So when we talk about being the fool card, or moving into the fool, the archetype of the fool, what is it that we are moving into? How are we moving forwards? And who is moving us forwards is probably what I would say. And that's why I like this one. And it's colourful. I like the colours in this. It's a very colourfully muted deck, colourful and moody. Just to show you a few more cards from here. 6 of Swords. I do like this, like a fallen angel look, being carried away. I'm not sure what the blindfold is for in this one. Doesn't want to see perhaps what they're leaving behind, but yeah, that kind of sorrowful look, and he's glancing over his shoulder to make sure that she's still there, still with him. 7 of Chalices. I love that reflection. That reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Is it Davy Thingy's locker? Davy's locker? You know who I mean. And we've got work going on outside, so there's banging and there's swords and all sorts all over the place. Doesn't matter where I am, it's all around, all different houses, battening down for winter. So yeah, so that is the Sweet Twilight. That is our full card. Where should we go next? Okay, let's take it the Magician. Tarot of Vampires, Mass Market, Charles Harrington. Like this deck a lot. I like the colourfulness of it. And just, does he remind you of, is it Lestat? Was he called Lestat in Twilight? Just has that kind of face to me. So the Magician. Why this Magician? I like him. It's a him for a start. So you don't often see that, do you? Unless you've got a Wizard's card out, because people forget that men can wield magic too. That's the first thing. So I just thought it was different from a lot of my cards, which are usually witches in this position in these types of decks. And the fact that everything's there, but it's all in this kind of really decaying place, and the Lumsket is clearly somebody's guts and intestines, or maybe it's blood. Let's have a look at that. Is it blood coming from his own wrist? So is he harnessing his own life force and power, perhaps? Oh yeah, I never really looked at it like that. It's hard to tell, isn't it? So it's either coming from the palm of his hand, or it could be coming from a cut on his wrist. Really hard to tell, but it's got that feel to it. And it's so modern. He's got a mobile phone. How cool is that? Yeah, this is another card that I like in this deck. that kind of start of the innocence of not knowing what you're stepping into, but you know you shouldn't step into the shadows. Psycho pomp of the void, you know what I mean. And never trust a lady under the moon in the water putting her hand out, ever, ever, ever. This is what I like about this. I love the way some of the wands cards portray the wings and things on the vampires. I just, yeah, it's got this real like punky, psychedelic feel to it, neon glow, but still nonetheless it's got its quite frank and creepy sides to it. So that is my magician. So my high priestess comes from Murder of Crows. Just quite a nice dark moody aspect. I love the fact that the crows are all around her. She's got her kind of pillars here. We've got the crescent moon in there, so it's got everything that you need, and that sort of veiled eye aspect going on with the crown. So you can see that this person they kind of wield a power, and the birds are all respecting her as well. So that is why I've chosen this one. It's quite a dark deck. The artist, obviously, Corrado Roy, has done a couple of decks below Scarabeo. I'm yet to colour this one in. I will colour this one in, unless, of course, somebody has a red deck that they don't want. But I will get around to colouring it in. I know lots of people have done it and they've coloured in the red and put the red in where they feel that it best suits. So I'm having a gazebo built for keeping our furniture safe over winter. And that's my partner outside making as much noise as he possibly can, because he knows it drives me bonkers on a Sunday. At the time of me filming this, of course. Right, so kind of in keeping with theme, same artist, same publisher, Lo Scarabeo, we have the Joker Tarot, and it's the Empress. I don't know, there's just something really freaky about this one as I flick through this deck. This one just reminds me of that freakiness. Like I'm not quite sure why she's holding someone's head in her hands. So I think if we're going to talk about majors, freaky majors, I think that's a pretty freaky Empress, because it's not really what you expect from the Empress, is it? You don't expect to see them holding someone's head. Maybe supporting people, but not, you know, not quite like this. And we have that same feeling that we had with the High Priestess in this one. So they could almost be the same person, look, but evolving on. And this is obviously the coloured version. So yeah, really interesting. That's quite a good fold as well. But this one is no less creepier than the Murder of Crows. It's got the same creepy aspects to it. It's on a glossy thick cardstock. So there's my Empress. The Emperor comes from this deck, the Path of Horror. And here's who I put down for this one. I just felt he embodied that whole Emperor kind of style. Really fiery, really red, lots of heat and anger in there. Very Mars-like for me. If I was going to describe the planet of Mars, I feel this is the deck for Mars, and this is it. Yeah, so many aspects of that card that I really like. But ultimately, it's the hot heat colouring, like a very. I sometimes find, depending on the reading, I find the Emperor and the Devil and the King of Wands in a very similar type of energy sometimes, very controlling, very like, controlling the narrative. Sometimes it's not the place or energy you want to be in because it's not healthy. So, and then they have their better sides, of course, as well. But sometimes, especially if all three pop out together, or you get a duplicate of one of the cards, if you're using multiple decks, I find it's really like hammering home for me when I'm doing it. It's that energy it's pulling in. It's not the other side usually. But yeah, that's just an interesting one. And just some more cards in this deck. I mean, what a great magician. Look at him. He's just laughing. He's having the time of his life, conjuring up whatever he is in his cauldron there with the melting pots of bones and toil and trouble. I think that's a great judgment card as well. Goes very nicely after the magician. And the sun. The happy baby carrying someone's head. But this is a great deck. if you like these types of artwork and images. So there's our Emperor. Hierophant, so I've gone with the Dark Grimoire again, low scarabeo. Here we are. I've chosen this one. This one reminds me of a little bit of that scene from oh my gosh, what was that film that got released like 80s, 90s with that little girl? On the tip of my tongue. My sister looked like her, freaked me out all my life as a child. Oh, you know, they're here. They come through the TV. Sugar. That'll be a complete mind spot for me. Anyone knows below, then just drop it in comments. But yeah, so this card reminds me of the kind of cavern scene, the one that was going on underneath the house, basically, that the psychic talks about. And then there is a point where the ground gives way and they're all swimming in bones and skulls of bodies that have been buried long before under their houses. So it's like, no wonder there's all this problem going on. But yeah, so that is it's kind of got that there. So in order to get led down there, you've got to have some kind of cultish leader, haven't you? Somebody that's stirring the pot or feeding you magic mushrooms to get you down there. And just a few more cards from this deck. So I happen to like this deck. Courtney's just done a comparison of 3 kind of decks to do with Necronomicon and Cthulhu. I don't know much about Necronomicon or Cthulhu. I just really like this deck. I've always really liked this deck. I just love the shadow-esque imagery in this, the complete alternate aspects of what the cards are telling you. So that is my Hierophant card. I need to stop doing that on camera. Sorry, that's why I tried to pause in between. Okay, so we're into the Lovers. So we have the tarot by anymeansnecessary.com. Can't remember your name right now off the top of my head. That's gone as well. I'm so sorry to the artist. Amazing artist. And here's the Lovers that I pulled out. What do I like about it? I just like the fact that it's there's a kind of caress, a kindness. This is a true kind of lovers card, if you want to take the word lovers at its basic means, and it's there, you know, holding the other, like gentle head hold, the looking into the eyes, little wings, just so touching and nurturing. And I'm laughing because I know you're all shaking your head at me. You're like, what is she talking about? Yeah, I feel like I do feel there's a gentleness, a nurture, an empathy, a sympathy, and a longing in this card. Like I can, yeah. So I like this one. Just a few more from the deck. Just such great artwork. That he does books as well. There's a book out, and it kind of goes through like depression and things. There's like lots of images about depression. Well worth a look if you like this type of artwork. I mean, there's a lot of these characters in a lot of his art. Why do I want to call him Scott? I don't know. But I wish his name was on the box, not just any means necessary, to help my brain. But yeah, so there we go. That's that one. That's the Lovers. Yes, totally. This one's definitely going to show up in this tag, isn't it? It's not going to not show up. The original Tarot of Vampires, currently paused on printing, I think, but lots of creators who've been around many, many, many more years than I have say that this keeps coming around again. So it goes out of print, they kind of revamp it, and then it comes back up again. So just, you know, keep your eye on that one. It might come back up. But if this artwork's not for you, the other one with the kind of bright colours I did at the start for my Magician, that's a gorgeous one. Sorry, I had to go and shut the door. Now I've knocked my chimes. You got them in the background. I don't know what's worse, but I swear he's just come and started cutting things up outside my door. So the Chariot, here we go. What do I like about this one? It's an action, it's in motion. Wherever they're going, they're both actually aiming in the same direction. So this isn't about picking direction. This is the direction. They are in the direction. They're both looking in the right place. They're aiming, taking aiming, they're firing, and they're going, they're attacking. So that's why I like this one as a Chariot card. Again, not always necessarily my favourite, but in this deck for the position I needed to fill. This one does the job. The Devil card I also thought was quite artistically done in this one. So they're kind of clinging to him. It's not like he's asking them to, but somehow they are feeling bound, servants, subject of the devil. It's got that kind of Van Helsing feel to it, that one, isn't it? And then there's just a few more from this deck. 5 of Knives. That's a great one. But yeah, so there we go. That is the Chariot card. So for the Strength card, I'm going with Diary of Skeleton. Such a cute little deck, this one. Really like this deck. What a beautiful card, really. It's a very different from the rest, isn't it? It's a completely different vibe, this one, from where we've been. But it was just the beauty of this, you know, person sat in their gorgeous dress, all puffed out with green grass around them and the pink flowers, little headdress, and the little cat on their lap, you know. The cuteness factor, really. That's what got this one here, is the cuteness factor. But I do like this deck. I like that. I'm running out of HP. So that's my Strength card. Coming into card number 9, The Hermit. Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinan. I picked this one. It just has a very beautiful feel. There's the peace in there, the fact that the person is sat kind of meditating, they're in the woods, they're grounding, like all those aspects that you want as a hermit, like on a perfect day. Yeah, I know the backstory to this is a bit sadder than what we're seeing, but it's just that element, isn't it? We've got ferns, we've got nature, trees, tree hugging, tree energy, the world around us, the owl taking flight, the white owl as well, at that, with the knowledge, the wisdom that the owls bring into it. And just this person sat in this kind of beautiful, peaceful embodiment of knowledge and wisdom. I just think that's a really lovely way to see the Hermit. The Lovers card as well, that's a beautiful card. I mean, the background story on that is really sad, isn't it? You can see the white picket fence with the roses and the kind of dream being destroyed behind them, and obviously that's how they've lost their life in this card, I'm presuming. I didn't read all the, I don't read the books, so you'll know more than me if you've read the book. But I just, yeah, what a great sun card. You know, in your afterlife, galloping, doing what you love through the field of sunflowers on your horse, wind in your hair, sunshine, birds. Just really, really great style of artwork. I love that 10 of Cups with the whole like family tree on the wall behind. So good, so good. So that is my Hermit card. Okay, we're moving to the Zombie Tarot for card number 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. What is that? I spilled my dinner on it. Amazing. One time it goes, anyway, you don't need to know that. That's my problem. One time it goes out to the dining table and it gets gravy dripped on it. I can see exactly what that is. How irritating. Anyway, so we're on to the wheel card. Why this one? I thought it was interesting because this one's actually got a person pinned to it. Most wheel cards don't. We have them going around the edges, but this one's actually, they're on it. Yeah, it's a zombie, but nonetheless, they are on it. And you know that luck of the draw? People chucking knives at you. Is it going to hit? Isn't it going to hit? Like that dartboard aspect, but the fact that obviously the wheel spins, so it makes it doubly dangerous. But I thought that was it's a dark, humid way of presenting a wheel to us, if you want. Yeah. It sometimes feels like we're all performing whilst we're trying to dodge the arrows being chucked at us and everything's spinning and we can't keep our feet grounded and everything that's going on. So then it becomes really luck of the draw as to what happens. And a few more from this card. I also quite like this Hermit, which is why it's the second one down, but not as much as the other Hermit. Hazards, Page of Hazards. Butter wouldn't melt, look, in this Page of Hazards. So I don't use this deck often, but it is well humoured. I do like it. So let's moving on. Right, I'm going for Justice as my 11, and obviously Strength was my 8. However, on this deck it's actually named the other way round, so ignore the number. We're putting Justice in this point. And I just picked this one from Tarot Noirs because 1, I like the art style in this deck, and 2, it felt like a not too severe Justice card. It felt like there's some gentleness to this person. They might balance evenly with their sword and scales. They don't look like they're out for your head like the Empress card was from the... Oh, where did I pull the Empress card from? Joker Tarot. So yeah, so I thought we would take this one as our card number 11, although it says that, but I thought here's our card number 11. And these are a couple of the other cards that I liked in this deck as representing majors, because I do like moons and suns actually representing moons and suns. Especially when they're these quirky, gorgeous imagery. You can't not, can you? But it's a great deck. Has a lovely little story that goes through the guidebook about the world in which all this comes from and where it all develops from. A little map of the world for you to travel through. Yeah. So that's our Justice. Card number 12, the Hanged One, is from the Tinker's Dam. This is off our Legacy Edition. And this is the tarot. Just move that out of the way a little bit. So it's from, did I say Duck Soup? I can't remember now. Duck Soup Productions. And Suspension card. I've seen many things for the Hanged One, but I haven't actually seen a suspended person in suspension. So this one gives me that vibe of exactly that, you know, like the water tanks, the salt water tanks where you can go and be in suspension. It gives me that feel here. So there's nothing more kind of obvious than that flotation, like weightlessness, can't do anything right now, stop and wait feeling for how this card kind of makes me interpret it, which I quite like. So that is it. That is my Hanged One, the suspension. A few more from this deck. So some of them are renamed. We have Couriers, Mares. Can't remember the names of the other ones. What a great death card. Wild Unknown. So yeah. That's the Tinker's Dam from Duck Soup Productions. So I'll show you the backs. I didn't know the backs on those ones. Actually, I haven't shown you the backs on most of them, have I? Don't know why. So why should we start now? Right, let's move on. Back to low Scarabeo. Can't fault them. Here's my death card. I just think that's a really freaky death card. If that Reaper's coming for me, I am under no illusions that there is a definite ending about to happen, whether I want it to or not. We're not transforming slowly here. This is a fast, swift, whatever that person's coming in to do. Just that, you know, the Scarlet Lady. I mean, look at the blade she's carrying, the blood coming out of her eyes, like the blackness, the soulless eyes. Yeah, nobody wants to see that screaming lady coming towards them, do they? So I thought that was a great death card. Just a few more from this deck. And that's a brilliant Chariot card as well. And just I'll come back to it. You know, this is inviting us, the viewer, into the card for where we go next. Yeah, I do like this deck. Ooh, so that's that one. Okay, and then we're going to move on to Temperance. We're going to the Madame Wilhelmina, as I call it, deck. And here's our Temperance. Just gross and gruesome. That's why. It has like decay. So we've got this decay, and then we've got like healthy skin. There's just something quite gross about it. It's not your typical Temperance. We're not doing our typical things, but this person has their kind of habit. They're walking that to me, this is walking that like veiled path, the hedge between worlds. So we are walking death and life, and we're also walking two worlds that probably shouldn't collide for me. So we're potentially walking like that nuns religious area, because that's how I see these habits to me. And then with that, the aspect of death and a place that maybe they shouldn't be sharing. All the gruesome little bugs and things. So yeah, so I pulled this one for Temperance, because Temperance is a really boring card in most decks, to be honest. So I just thought that one with a different aspect. And there's that Devil card in this one that is also really gross. And we have a different take on the world. So this deck is on Kickstarter on the 31st of October 2025 for anyone that's wanting to get themselves one of these. Avoid eBay, avoid being ripped off, and pop over to Kickstarter and go and back the actual creator. Get yourselves a deck at the right price. You knew it was coming somewhere in this collection. How was I going to do an entire collection without putting this card or this deck in somewhere? I mean, this deck could have represented most of it, but the Devil card in specifics for this one. Look at him. He's so red and gruesome and sneaky and everything, mischievous, and what's he up to? Like, there's a devil on your shoulder, like everything in there, going to trick you. You can see it all in this one. And then there's the wings to make him look angelic like, and it's okay, I have wings, it's good, it's all good. So here's my devil. I was going to put the blue devil card down, but I didn't want to confuse everyone by putting that down, so I've left the red one from the deck here. And then we have the Temperance. And she's mildly more interesting than some of the others, but again, same. They're always just pouring. I do like this one, the little witch practicing drawing blood, but practicing nonetheless. So a few more from my favourite deck. Look at that one. Not many people like that one. That one seems to trigger a lot of people, but I think it's quite cool / humorous as well in the same aspect. We have the pregnant person. Somebody either trying to catch or asking to go back, because they don't like where they've gone, they don't like how things have turned out for them. But yeah, in the same breath though, you can see this person like laughing, smiling. There's something dark about that, isn't there? Something that fits my humour. We are totally getting there. It's a long one, isn't it? The Tower card comes after the Devil. I picked this one from the Dark Mansion. This is 3rd edition. It's the rose petal finish one. So it's the one that clumps and sticks, and you can't get the beastie to unclump when you're working with it. So I do need to learn how to soap the cards, but I haven't yet. But I just like the comical aspect of the Tower in this one. It's got that real kind of Tim Burton feel to it, the Lemony Snicket's house type feel to it. If you've watched Lemony Snicket's, it has that. So that one is my Tower. And then we have the deck itself. I mean, yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? 9 of Swords. Monster with big teeth. Oh, it's also one of my favourite 3 of Swords as well in this deck. Don't ask. I was probably trying to bridge the deck to see if I could make it smoother. Throw a few in upside down. Yeah, there we go. Definitely. Okay, there we are. That's that one. Next out, the star card for the Daydream deck. There's just something about that, like the young person looking at the star for the hope, for guidance. When you're a child, this just takes back to when you're a child and you're told to follow the North Star, follow the guiding star. And it just embodied that for me, rather than having like a half-naked woman pouring water into the waters and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, oh yeah, nice imagery, simple, emotive, and a lovely big star. So I know what I'm looking at. And then I quite like the Death card in this one and the Tower. So in fact, those are probably a few of the cards I just dropped on top in case I couldn't have anything in my other decks that I wanted to pop in place. had backups. I can move them around. And it just got a bit too crazy. So yeah, so this is this one. It is for the best part, a kind of illustrated pip deck. Six of Wands. So yeah. Next. So we are back to Duck Soup Productions, the Trick or Tarot for the Moon card. Follows on from the Star card. And it's this one, because it's got a lovely big faced moon on it. That's why I'm not so keen on whatever on earth that is down there, so I'm not going to waste too much time on that freaky aspect. I quite like this. In fact, I only noticed that today looking at this, and now I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to put a sticker over it. I'm going to have to sticky over it because I don't want to touch it. I don't want my thumbs to touch it. It's not a crayfish. It doesn't look like a crayfish to me. The moon's just illuminated something I don't want to see. That's my worst nightmare. That could be a Nine of Swords card. And then just a few more from the deck. Old Scratch himself. I like the gateway aspect with all the gilded gates around the cards. Just stepping into the worlds. That one, the Eight of Wands, all the witches flying on their brooms. So yeah, the Trick or Tarot from Duck Soup. Similar vein, we're onto the Crooked Way Tarot from Duck Soup Productions. Look at this sunshine. That's brilliant. There we go. That's it. That's all you need to know for the sunshine. It burns when it gets too hot. So we have Orlax Bane here, the sun. I just thought, yeah, that's a nice humorous sun card for what we're doing. And just go through a couple more of these. It's a really cool gothic style deck. It's got these ornate corners, makes it feel very picturesque, like, you know, we're looking at paintings and things, but they're paintings that are alive and move, you know, with the eyes follow you if you walked into a haunted house. Feels like that for me, this deck. And again, there are renames on the cards, so I think I've written in there. Started King, Master, Queen, Mistress, Page, Knight. I haven't put in there yet. And then the different cards. Suits. For our judgment, we're going to Road to Equilibrium. Look at that. That is a very powerful judgment card, I think. All eyes on you. Coming in through the ear, that channel. Is it really, are they really looking? Is it your thoughts, or is it what they're saying? Like, what is it that actually creates that moment of judgment for you? So yeah, there it is. It is a very, there are bodies in this. Such a good deck for shadow work. Comes with a PDF, downloadable PDF. But I do like this deck. It is very dark. So that is Judgment. I think we've got one to go, haven't we? We're on to the final deck, which is the World, which I can do right now because it's here. We're going to the Dark Angels Tarot. And here's my World card. So the story of the Dark Angels is these are obviously fallen angels, and they have that love for the world, but the world is ending, and they love the people in the world as well. So they have their love for humanity, and their choice is to stay and die with the world as it ends, or to go back to heaven, basically, if you believe in such. And a lot of them chose to stay and live with the people as they come to their end, their kind of natural end. So there's like a beauty and sorrow to this card all in one. So we have the time running out of the timers, and kind of this person doing their last dance under the sun before everything ends really. So yeah, so I thought that makes a very fitting spooky season world card. And that's the sun as well. I thought that was another beautiful one, dancing in front of the sun as the last sun sets. And that kind of like sorrowful, trying to hold on to the moment, trying to hang on to the heat of the sun before it disappears, before the world ends. So this is the Dark Angels Tarot again, a low scarabeo. So I think the majority of my collection was low scarabeos, if I was going to count them out, versus indies, and then some US games, I think. So yeah, right, let's take a look then. So what did we get? So what does my deck look like? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's get you out of the way. So we have our Fool, Magician, the Empress, High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor. I don't know, I'm going to fit all these on. 1 second. Right, quick rejig. The Hierophant, the Lovers, you going to fit in up there? The beautiful Lovers card, the Chariot, Strength card, our Hermit, our Fortune, our Justice card, our Suspension card, the Death card, and then how far down here can we go? We have the Temperance card, the Devil, the Tower, I think we're sticking to the Tower, our Star, our Moon, our Sun, the Judgment, and the World, as we live as one. There we go. What's your 22 favourites? Don't be as extravagant as I. You don't have to be for spooky season. This can all come out of one deck if you wanted to. You can explain what they are, or it can come out of 3 or 4 decks. I just happen to have a ridiculous size collection on my shelf and actually realise that this isn't all of them. So rest in peace, knowing that I have a particularly dark collection on my shelves. So these aren't just all I use for spooky season. These are my decks that I use all year round. And I just happen to have enough to do this, which surprised even myself, especially when I then put stuff back on the shelves because I wasn't going to get them into this tag. So there's still stuff on my shelves. Hopefully then when I do my 13 tags for spooky season, hopefully if I manage to get all 13 done, I might have cycled through everything by that stage. Until the next one, guys, take care, and please do tag me in your comments so that I can see when you redo this one and I can see what you've got up to. And thank you to Chanel Days and also Angel for spinning it up a little bit, taking it up a notch to my type of decks. Bye.